So I was wondering, like, how has being first gen transformed for you as you've navigated different spaces and different roles?
In some ways, I think, one of the things I think is a positive of being a first gen student is you kind of you're required to kind of figure out a lot of stuff on your own. I mean, some of us have like family networks or friendship networks that we could kind of like lean on for advice and stuff like that. But I think when you come from a first gen family, like, yeah, you are kind of required to um, um, learn things figure it out on your own. And I think that um, gives first generation students in some ways a kind of advantage in the sense of like that sort of like independent sort of thinking and that problem solving skill that you can't really get, I think, if you come from a family who has a lot of knowledge of what college is about, and or like in some cases like multiple generations of college graduates, like that's kind of inconceivable to me. But so I think, it's important for first gen students to not kind of beat themselves up to feel like, oh, I feel so like inadequate because I don't know about as much about college as some of my peers do. But I think um, sometimes we get thrown into these situations like college and having to figure out things on our own. And obviously UCI has a ton of support networks for first gen students, but at the end of the day, those are never going to be enough, right? Because we have to figure out a lot of stuff on our own. And I think it's I think it's helpful to see that as in many ways as an advantage. But also, some things, one thing I realized too is some things just don't ever change about being a first gen student. And in my case now, faculty is like my parents, for instance, like they know I'm a professor, but they don't like really know what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. Like if I'm not like, because I mean, their kind of like vision of work is you go to the office 9 to 5, you work and that's your work, right? But the life of or like they imagine like a professor is in their classroom teaching and that's their job, but that's just simply not the case. Like we do spend a lot of our time and energy teaching or in our office, like, I guess doing research, but a lot of that is sometimes I don't come into the office for days at a time because I could do the work I do at home. And then, but to my parents, they're like, wait, why aren't you at work? Like, shouldn't you be at work? Aren't you going to get in trouble? So that sort of disconnect of knowledge and is something that, probably will never go away, or maybe I think maybe one day. But so that's another thing I've noticed is that something with being a first gen student and then faculty, like and I think a lot of my first gen faculty colleagues can probably relate to that experience too.